What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video, another day, another dollar. We're going to be breaking down the futures contract, our ES futures contract, the SPY. We're going to be breaking down the monthly, the weekly, the daily time frame, go into the 30-minute time frame, mark some destinations, kind of go over a trade or two that I took today. Overall, it was a really good positive trading day. Not very big, not very large on the P&L, but every day we're looking to just accumulate a couple points out of the market, get out, and move on with my day, right? That's kind of the goal, is just to keep on building the account. We are looking at the monthly time frame. Basically going to call this a 5-month balance. You can call it a 4-month balance, but as we have 2 more trading days left in the month, I think it is going to be very, very, very key that we break over this 46.3350. Okay, for me, that is my line in the sand. If we get above that 46.3350 level, we should go and attack that all-time high at 48.0825. Now, we can continue to chop around inside of this range. It is a rather large range, a 500-point range. We can continue to chop around inside of this. There's nothing saying that we must go and take out this high, but odds do favor that, right? We push down for 3 months straight, and then boom, we are in a balance. You can call your balance high 46.0925. Nothing wrong with that, but for me, a little bit more confirmation would be getting above 46.3350 and holding above that. Then you begin to attack those other levels on the upside, right? So 46.3350 is going to be a very key level for me, and that's also where we held a high back in March. Was right around the same level. Caused us to roll over. Same thing here, caused us to roll over. And now we're revisiting that for the second time. So key level above 46.33 on the monthly. We can continue to chop around. I'm not looking for us to come back down to this 41.2250. If we do, buyers are in trouble, and this market could have a really, really bad turnaround going into 2024. Not expecting that from the way things look. Buyers are strong. However, it would be healthy if we had a little bit of a pullback on our weekly time frame. We've already kind of done such on our daily time frame, as we are in a balance on our daily, and we'll review that here in just a minute. But our weekly has been one time framing up 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row, right? This week so far, we've gotten near last week's high, have not quite taken it out yet. We need to get above 45.8050 to continue to one time frame up. Now, just because this week is an inside week so far does not stop the one-time framing up technically. And all one-time framing up means is we're setting higher highs and higher lows, okay? That's what we're doing, right? The trend has been to the upside, and we look to continue that. Odds favor that on the weekly time frame. However, things are beginning to change in the smaller time frames, such as the daily and our 30-minute time frame that we look at every day. The 30-minute time frames, we have values that are beginning to overlap on both sides, right? Value is a very, very key thing for profile traders, and just overall to kind of figure out where majority of the volume is being placed in this market. And right now, there's a lot of volume being packed in up here at this at these prices, trying to find acceptance above the 45.70 level, in my opinion. And I'll show you exactly what I mean here in the 30-minute time frame in just a second. But right now, the weekly one time framing up, it would not be a bad idea, or it would not be harmful to the market for us to come in and have a little bit of consolidation on the weekly to kind of confirm whether or not these buyers up here are serious. And we then, after we accumulate some more buyers, boom, we continue to push up and attack the monthly high, right? If I bring back up the monthly range, if we pull back, accumulate some buyers, and then, chop around a little bit, have some consolidation, get some more soldiers to go and attack the border up here at 46.3350, boom, we're breaking into the all-time high territory. And, that's what you look for as a buyer. Now, as a seller, we're getting near what we would call a balance high. We've also topped out in this range several times. And it's not, impossible for traders to do what has worked several times. And so far, several times in this range, we have proven to roll over. So maybe we have some sell positions stepping in this market. Maybe that will fuel the next leg up if we begin to take out that monthly high, right? So just keep that in mind going forward. Weekly, one time framing up still favors moving to the upside, but we look to see maybe if we come back into some type of balance and have consolidation, because things are changing on the daily time frame. Now let's go ahead and look at the daily. Things are changing here on the daily time frame. Today we tested our multi-day balance high at 45.80.50, right? We need to get above that to begin to one-time frame up again and get into the gap here and fill it at 45.91, right? That gap gets filled. We've still yet to fail. We have failed to fill that gap several times now. And I was talking about this in yesterday's video, how we failed several times getting into that gap or getting near that gap, and we just haven't quite done it yet. So right now we're in a pretty good consolidation period. 45.37.75 is going to be my balance low. If we take that out, I think, if we take that out, is going to be a very, very likely chance that we put the weekly into a balance, right? Our weekly balance low for our weekly low last week was 40. What was it again? 45.24.50. So we need to take out 24.50 on the downside in order for us to stop the one-time framing up on the daily. So that would be this day's low at 45.24.50. Now you can say that's your balance low if you'd like. For me, it is going to be the balance or that low of 37.75. So we take that out. I have a good chance we'll go and test that low and potentially put ourselves back into a balance on the weekly. And at that point, we'll be one-time framing down on the daily time frame. And all these buyers up here that are buying at higher prices that aren't getting paid very much right now will begin to give it up. Now we did test, since we are in a balance on the daily, we have balance rules in effect, right? As Paul always says, there are 3 balance rules. We have get near a balance high and back off. We get to the balance high and stretch it just a hair. So that means, getting to 45.80.50, maybe getting above it by 2 points or so, and then coming back in. Or we move to, through, and away from a balance, right? High or low. So that would mean getting through 80.50 and continuing to push up, filling the gap, and maybe having a trend day up. Same thing for the downside, right? We would need to test the balance low, 37.75, not getting anywhere, remain inside, stretch it, getting below it by a couple points and then coming back inside, or getting to, through, and away from it. Today we just got near our balance high, failed to go trend up. We did hold it for a few time frames, but failed to go trend up, and I'll show you what that is here on our 30-minute time frame. But the daily still remaining in a balance, looking to fill the gap on the upside. All right, looking to fill that gap on the upside. That starts at 80.50 and fills at 91. Now on the downside, if we do start to get some legs and break our balance low and get below that weekly low of 24.50 or 24.50, it would be very, very interesting to see if we go and attack this large gap down here. The 20-day moving average is shooting up through it pretty good. So it should be right around where that gap begins at 83.75, 44.83.75. So if we do get some legs to the downside and have a trend day down, it'll be interesting to see how we react if and whenever we get near that level. So just all in speculation, got to keep the brain moving on all possibilities, and it is healthy to review these types of scenarios. Now, looking at our 30-minute time frame and just kind of reviewing what we did today in ES, not a whole lot. It was kind of eventful for a few time frames where we did attempt to go trend up. We finally got that tiny tick of gap that we had from the other day at 45.55. Geez. That filled at 45.54.75. A lot of numbers. And then we obviously, I said in yesterday's video, if we open below and got that daily low, likely chance we'd get that gap fill, and then likely chance we'd move down into that 10 wide point of control. And guess what? The day's low The low of the day, 49.25. It does not get more mechanical than that. That's why you got to know these destinations. I guarantee you there were people selling down here, not understanding that this was a massive wide point of control. This was an area where there was a lot of volume packed in, right? Buyers and sellers were very, very happy trading at that price, right? So when we did come down, if you bought 49.25, I mean, once you got back into the previous day's range, it was game over for the sellers. Especially once you took out the initial balance, a high. And now keep in mind, the initial balance is the first hour of trading, high and low, or the first two 30-minute time frames, high and low. So that would be this A period's low, 49.25, and B period's high, 57.25. So we would need to take out one of the two. And in this case, we took out the initial balance high, got back into the previous day's range. Once we did that, guess what? You had a magnet from, I mean, if you didn't, even if you didn't buy 49.25 and you bought 57.25, there was nothing to as resistance or anything like that until 64.75. You get that, your next destination on the upside, 45.70. Okay, so we failed to move down lower, pretty good. We went trend, had a massive set of single prints, which got filled later in the day. Had two sets, had a third that got filled initially right away. We had an outside day up potentially, right? Because we took out the previous day's low, then we took out the previous day's high, didn't stay above it very long, and then rolled right on over. And then basically just ended with the day's low, the day's high, and an 8 wide point of control. I won't ignore, but I will not bring it forward because I just following Paul. There's no real significance in anything that is less than 9 wide in his opinion, and I found that to be true as well. So we've hit all these destinations. We just missed getting our balance high at 80.50. The only trades that I took today were on the long side, and I had to be very, very patient, right? I missed all this grind up, and then finally when we started to come in, I got a couple good positions in. Let's see if I can still, yeah, I took a one lot. Let's see. Took a one lot at 64.75 initially, exited 66.75. And then I took another lot at, oh, never mind. That was the second trade. Initially, I took a one lot at 71, got out 73. That was on this pullback here, right? I got, and it was initially against the one time framing up. The market had been one time framing up, setting higher highs, higher lows, and it was in defense of the one time framing. So once we came in, we hadn't quite taken out that low yet. So I was looking to get long 71, and then I got out at 73. Next opportunity I had was when we came in even more so. Initially, I got long on that pullback down here coming in, and it was to rotate back up to get to 69.75. I didn't quite get there. I'm trying to remember exactly what it popped up to. Yeah, it popped up to 65. So on this pullback here, I got long right in this range, right? And then it popped up and I was able to get out 66.75 because I just didn't know if we'd get back above the 144 simple moving average. And clearly we didn't. Continue to grind down lower, chopped around for a little while. And that was pretty much the end of my day. Netted about $200 on the day. Will not complain about that. So that's enough about trading on the day. But, overall, solid day. Even if you took the long down here, if you were even more patient, you took the long down here against the low of the day, because that worked in yesterday's scenario where we had a liquidation, right? Anybody that bought that made money. Same thing here on the pullback. Anybody that bought the low here against the low day, using that as a stop, obviously we came back up and you had an opportunity to make a little bit of dough on that trade as well. Now, something I was discussing in the room with Paul, and this is why I think it's very beneficial to have a mentor and someone to guide you and somebody to bounce ideas off of is I'll just read you what I wrote in his room. I said something I've been looking at is how we've been trading in the upper distribution from that trend day up from the 20th and the lack of acceptance above 71. And then I gave him this depiction here, or the screenshot of my chart here. And I found it very interesting, right? We did have that trend day up where we had a triple distribution day up. And then we've been packing in a lot of volume. Look at all the value that's been within this area, okay? Within that upper distribution, which was from 71 to 56.50. Okay, so we've been packing in a lot of volume in this area. And I bet if you put the composite together, you would have a wide point of control within the 63 range, right? Something I noted, right? Look at where that upper distribution was, or that high of day at 71. You see how we've spiked up several times in this range and have not found much acceptance or much consolidation above 71. Each time we've come up here, we've met sellers and we've come in pretty good. So for me, buying above 71 or above 70 until we can prove, that's why I wasn't being a buyer up here. I was happy to buy, coming in a little bit to see if we would hold above 70. That's why I bought it. It paid me one time. I didn't do it again. And then obviously as we came in, was happy being a buyer again. But just think about this as one big value, this being value low, this being value high, and look at how we are failing to find acceptance above that value high area, right? So that could be kind of a nuance going forward if we do end up rolling over and getting our balance low way down here at 37.75. So just keep that in mind going forward. That's just something I wanted to kind of point out, is how we've been doing a lot of consolidation up here. Now that could mean maybe we're finding buyers up here to, and we are finding acceptance here to go and finally, take all this volume and buyers that have been accumulating here, and then distribute them up higher, maybe above 4,600, right? That is a good possibility as well. Odds do favor that. So just keep that in mind. That's something I just wanted to kind of point out to you guys. And I thought was a very interesting thing. And Paul kind of agreed that it was, that we have been packing in a lot of volume there. Values have been overlapping to higher to lower, to higher to lower. So value is just kind of not really changing a whole lot. Has been drifting lower. So maybe this will be, a point where we decide to finally roll over. I also said that I want to be cautious on buying up here. I definitely want to be more patient, or have more patience when buying up here, especially in this pullback scenario here, where we pulled back late in the day, and excuse me, where we pulled back late in the day, and we had that little bit of liquidation, right? If you were not patient and you were buying up here, and without any reason, and you didn't get out because you thought we were going back and revisit the high of the day, obviously you got hurt. That's what caused this liquidation here. Now, buying down here has worked for the last 2 days. Doesn't mean it's going to work tomorrow, right? We might have a liquidation, get near the low of the day. We have a bunch of buyers step in, and then boom, we continue to liquidate through. And then that causes our push down and visit that low day. What I have is my balance low in the daily, 37.75, and then we go and visit 24.50. Okay, so just keep those things in mind, mostly for myself. So let's go ahead and mark today's low today. And since this is the same price, I'm not even going to bother changing the line there. What is today's date? Today's date is the 28th. And if you made it to the end of this video, you're an absolute fucking trooper. I do appreciate it. And I hope you have found this somewhat informational and helpful. And if you're someone serious looking for a great group of traders, go check out camelbacktrading.org. If you want to find out what or who Paul is or what he does, go check out his channel, Paul Asmar, on YouTube. He is, and that's ASMAR, Asmar, not ASMR, right? Asmar, ASMAR is his name. Go look him up. He is I'm telling you, great guy, great mentor. Could not have asked for someone better to help me learn profile and the market. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. High day 77.25. Excuse me, once again, something in my throat. 49.25 low of day. If we open up tomorrow and take out today's low of day at 49.25, you will most likely go and visit what I have as my balance low of 37.75. We take that out, you will get 24.50 weekly low, which would stop the one time framing up on the daily. So I'm gonna thicken this thing up here, just to kind of signify how important this is. And I'm gonna label it weekly low as well, so I know going forward that is a key area. Okay, so if we take out 24.50, the weekly will come back into a balance, and then we can start attacking this on the daily, because we'll be one time framing down 45.12.75, and then the low of day 45.01.75. Same thing for the upside. If we take out today's high 77.25, we can get 80.50, take out the balance high, and then we can finally fill the gap on the upside, which fills at 91. And then from the December contract, like I said, there's going to be some discrepancies. December contract high is 97.50 and then 46.11. So this was all destinations prior to this contract actually being traded. So everything I have marked on my chart is for a December contract, not the continuous. So there's going to be some discrepancies between what we have on the upside versus what we have on the downside. The downside is way more accurate versus what the upside is going to be. If you want to see more accurate destinations, just pull up your daily on the continuous and just kind of review high of days, which was most likely what I'll be looking at going forward. I know this video was a long one. You know, I think it's very important for me to review this in this amount of detail, and I just hope you all enjoy this and continue to embark on this journey with me. As you know, I'm trying to be a good funded trader, right? I'm trying to make money being funded by Apex, you know. Do what I got to do. Anyway, hope you all have a wonderful day out there. We'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Doses.